all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Folks, back enjoy the Bossman show here with Michael Pina of SB Nation. Talks NBA ball with him. Mike, what's good, brother?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Getting ready to this training camp routine, man. And the Hawks coming up real soon, so just getting back in the groove. The summer's over for me now. It's time to get back to work once again. Radio, covering and traveling again, brother.
Attaboy, that sounds awesome.
Yes, indeed. Well, Mike, let me start with the Wizards, man. They got a new front office. They finally hired Tommy Shepard officially. They got Brown coming in from the old Cleveland Browns. He got also John Thompson III. And they also talking about offering Beal a max contract of 3 years, $111 million. If I'm Bradley Beal, I got to see what y'all going to do. I'm not going to accept this deal at the moment. And if he declines their max offer, let's start a clock on trading Bradley Beal maybe to a Miami or somewhere else to get him off the books and maybe start the Wizards total rebuild that should come, not knowing if Wall going to be back to who he used to be after the injuries that he's had.
Yeah, I definitely think that if Beal were not to accept the max contract extension, I think it's $111 million. It starts in a couple years. I'm right on with what you're saying. If I were him, I would wait to see what the plan was before I accept it. I only have until October to really accept this particular extension so if I say no and then head into the remaining 2 years on my deal. If I were the Wizards, I mean, you got to trade that contract for a couple of reasons. I mean, primarily, this is a great time to get a huge haul for a star like Beal, who is, I believe, 25, 26 years old, coming off a season where he probably should have been on the All-NBA team. One of the game's better scorers at his position, at a very thin position. You can get a haul for Bradley Beal. And I was personally a little surprised that the Wizards did not engage more with the Clippers, who had reportedly sought out his services in a trade that would have brought him there along with Kawhi Leonard instead of Paul George. So you can only imagine what the haul was being offered in that deal and what the trade packages would be going forward, particularly in a climate where there's really no boogeyman right now in the NBA. And so a lot of teams will view Bradley Beal as the missing piece to win a championship. And so if I were the Wizards, I would 100% look to shop him. Publicly, I would obviously say that I am not going to trade him so that his value is not completely shot, but privately, I would definitely be throwing his name out there to different teams, seeing what I could possibly get for him.
Now, Michael, I read a story about Al Horford calling Danny Ainge's tampering claims against Philadelphia were ridiculous. I was shocked Al Horford opted out, but I was hoping he wasn't being silly and doing it, but obviously he wasn't when he opted out of the contract with the Celtics. Did this shock you guys in Boston when he actually opted out of that deal? Because I thought he was going to opt out and maybe signing a lower deal on a three or 4 year deal with Boston, maybe 4 years, $80 million. But he ended up getting 4 years, 109 for Philadelphia, but $97 of that million guaranteed. So did that throw you all off, and that actually went down that way?
Yeah, it did. I think that the Celtics I think a lot of people expected him to opt out because he's coming off a very good season, and this was an opportunity for him to sign a long-term deal and secure a lot of money given his age. That would probably be the wisest move for him. I think the Celtics were caught a little bit off guard when he opted out and then cut off negotiations almost immediately, knowing that he had the Philadelphia 76ers offer in hand. It's a bummer for Boston. If they were able to keep Al Horford somehow and still get Kemba Walker and make some of the other signings that they've made this summer, that team is potentially a championship contender, or should be viewed as a championship contender heading into next season, regardless of the loss of Kyrie Irving. There's a lot of upside on that roster still. You would have Gordon Hayward coming back from 2 years removed from his devastating leg injury, potentially looking like the all-star that they thought they signed. A couple summers ago, you would have Jason Tatum in year 3, Jaylen Brown in year 4, Marcus Smart suddenly coming off an all-defensive season where his three-point shooting was up to a respectable level. I think that team would have an extremely high ceiling, but it didn't work out that way, and I guess they have to kind of downshift a little bit. Still going to be very good, still have a lot of assets, but not quite as good, I think, had they been able to retain Al Horford.
I hear that. Now, in the Eastern Conference, where do you see them slotting themselves now with the Kemba Walker and Enes Kanter side and the draft picks that they will be bringing in this next season here?
Yeah, I think Boston is still they should be aiming for home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think that there are 3 teams definitively better than them in the Eastern Conference. You have at the top, if I had to tier the teams a little bit, I would have Milwaukee and Philadelphia in some order. And then, even though Toronto lost Kawhi Leonard, I think that team bounced back pretty well with some of the types of players that they signed this summer, athletic, long wings. I think their defense will be extremely good. Pascal Siakam should make another leap forward, and everybody else except for Danny Green has been retained on that roster. So I think Toronto is respectable. I think, Indiana, depending on when Victor Oladipo comes back and how good he looks, they'll be a threat. Brooklyn obviously added Kyrie Irving, and they also lost a few pieces. But Brooklyn will be interesting. Miami's there. We'll see what they can do with Jimmy Butler and the supplemental pieces around him. But to answer your question, I think Boston would be very, very disappointed if they did not finish with a top 4 seed in next year's playoffs.
Speaking of Miami, Chris Paul trade potentially it's kind of been put on hold. Miami wants their picks back from OKC to take on his contract. Do you think a Jimmy Butler, Chris Paul pairing potentially could make some noise in the Eastern Conference where that is pretty much a 4 or 5 seed? Maybe they won't go very far or get past Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, or Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, in the regular season, they probably wouldn't be as fierce as they would be in the playoffs. Chris Paul is getting up there in age. I think he's 34 right now. Jimmy Butler, I think, is 30, if I'm not mistaken. So, those guys
miles on him too.
Exactly. Very, very good point. So, I mean, you look at the roster that Miami has, there are still some really good pieces there. Justice Winslow, I think Kelly Olynyk is a really good supplement. Bam Adebayo, I love as a starting 5 now that Hassan Whiteside is kind of out of the picture. And then the rookie that they drafted, Tyler Herro from Kentucky, he really impressed me at Summer League in Las Vegas. So I think that they have a pretty good roster. And, as we saw last year in the playoffs, Jimmy Butler in crunch time with the ball in his hands is still one of the 15 best players in the world. So if he were able to carry that over and kind of fill the role that James Harden had beside Chris Paul last year in Houston, the past 2 years in Houston, then I think that team could be really interesting, and I don't think anyone would want to play them in a playoff series.
Speaking of James Harden in Houston, how do you see the fit between Westbrook and Harden in their current incarnations of who they are? Because I don't see the fit. The best fit I can see is if you put Russell on the ball and James Harden off the ball, but that's not what Harden wants to do. So I just see that going bad fast.
It'll be really interesting. I think this is one of the more fascinating tandems the league has ever seen, even though we've technically already seen them play beside each other. I think that Russell Westbrook in particular, with the spacing and the three-point shooters that he'll have for basically the first time in his career on a consistent basis, we should see him be a lot more efficient and a lot more capable of finishing at the basket than he was last year. He will not need to stop and pop for those 16, 18-foot jumpers, the contested threes. I think he'll have a lot more advantageous looks at the basket this year, and particularly with the way that defenses will be trying to defend James Harden. So I mean, the fit it'll be interesting. These are two very high usage guys, two guys who are used to, racking up triple doubles and assuming so many possessions and so much responsibility for their teams. I'm sure that Mike D'Antoni will stagger them and they'll be able to shepherd their own lineups without the other superstar on the court, and that's where a lot of their numbers will be accumulated. But it'll be very interesting to see how they're able to cooperate when they're both out there, particularly in crunch time.
That's one I got for you real quick. The NBA is talking about investigating for agency how those deals got done before the 6 p.m. on June 30th. I think they can't really police that. That's going to happen. Agents and teams are going to talk, and things are going to happen that way. So you think this is just a little bit this is PR put by the NBA, or they're really serious about trying to crack down on deals getting done before free agencies even opened up?
I'm not sure exactly how you lend out punishments and adjudicate this situation. It's very, very difficult, obviously, to outlaw players from communicating with each other and trying to recruit one another to team up. I have no idea how you would be able to have punishments for something like that. But I think that it is a real concern among owners, particularly small market owners who feel very vulnerable right now, who aren't sure, even if I have a superstar like Paul George under contract, what is to say that another superstar will not get in his ear and have him, force a trade out? I think we saw that a few times over the past couple, or at least the past, 12 months. We've seen that in the NBA a few times. So, if I was a small market owner, an owner of the New Orleans Pelicans, for example, with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, I think it's really difficult to not side and understand where certain owners are coming from with their frustration, but I don't know how you get it out of the game, because I think that the tampering will always exist so long as people have cell phones and are able to communicate with one another.
Yes, indeed. Well, Michael Pina, thank you for your time today, brother. Hope to do it again with you down the road, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, folks, it's Michael Pina on the Bossman Show.
Nikki on the track.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay.
Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.